Hello student, today topic is rising position in the system development. The various types of the positions, rising position in the software development process, the paraprofessional, the tasks of the system development are changing because rather than going through the traditional way, the saving the time, the task is required by the less experienced person on a contract basis. There could be the use the paraprofessional. The paraprofessional is a professional related person. They know the how to develop the system, how to take the analysis, design, coding and the testing. The general supported task is assigned. The paraprofessional maintain current documentation on the daily basis, maintain a technical literature, assist in a constructing and the maintaining the program, and the daily basis the documentation is properly, which software is developed, which forms is developed, where the problems is arise. This is the daily basis. Every documentation is taken by the paraprofessional. The specific system development task is also taken by the paraprofessional. Draft the data flow diagram and the structure chart based on the specification from the system development personnel. Draft the data flow diagram where is data is flow in the software. The structure chart is also developed. Maintain data dictionaries. Database dictionaries also is maintained in the system specific system development. Code program, code the programs which software is developed, their coding is also taken. Prepare and maintain the test data files, check test results, modify the program based on a predetermined procedure. Prepare and maintain the test data file, the which programs and which software is developed, they test the programs, test their data files, check the test result, where is the errors is occurs, where is no software is not properly work, modify their program and rectify it and correct it and test the properly. Prepare user manuals how to use this software, and their documentation is also maintained and prepare their documentation. Prepare supportive training materials when needed. Supportive training materials is made for the users how to use this software. How their procedures is also mentioned in the training manuals. Shortage of the qualified analysis and their high salaries. The value of the separating essential tasks is assigned, some to trained personnel who have not reached to the level of the education, skill, experience and the how to analyze these types of the specific system development task is performed by the paraprofessional. The paraprofessional perform the another types of the various tasks is also performed. The task is not significantly complex and does not require high level of the ability, education, skill or the experience. The task is the repetition and there is relatively well defined process for performing it. The general support tasks require limited time for the instruction relative to the time it takes to perform them. The technical writer is also used in the paraprofessional performing the task. Documentation is one of the base important between the technical and the user world. As the number of users are use this system, the number of user driven system is increases. The use and the acceptance will be greatly influenced by the quality of the system documentation. From the rough draft, the contradiction of the programmer's notes and the technical writers extracts a clean and the instruction for the candidate system how to use this system. These types of the rough draft is made by the technical writer. The writer seeks for the uncover of the hidden logic of the program. He's hidden the logics of the program and convert into the operational pattern. In the software do not show to the program logics and the codes, it is shown in the operational pattern. These types of the task is performed by the paraprofessionals. Next is the unit second, system analysis, system planning and the initial investigation. First is the basis for the planning in system analysis. For the planning for the system analysis is taken for the gathering the informations and collecting the informations for the how to develop the system. You decided to develop the new system. For this new system, collect the information from the various way. The planning information system in business has become increasingly important during the past decade. First, information is now recognized is vital resources and must be managed. It is equal in importance in cash, physical facilities and personal. Second, more financial resources are committed to the information system. Computer systems are becoming integral to the business operation. Top management is paying more attention to their development. Third is there is a growing to the need for the formal long range planning with information systems that are complex and require months or years to build, use common databases, have greater competitive edge. The objectives are to the map out the development of the major system, reduce the number of small and the isolated system to the develop and maintain proper planning for the information system, ensure that the role of played by the system will be the concurrent that the organization. Then the strategies are made for MIS planning. MIS means management information planning. Planning for information system development must be done with the framework of the organization of the overall MIS plan. MIS means management information system. It may be viewed for the two dimensions. The time horizon dimension specifies whether it is short range, which is MIS is a short range plan, yearly plan, medium term plan and the long range plan. The focus of the dimensions, it tells whether the primary concerns with strategies, managerials and the operationals. The strategic planning is orderly approach that determine the basic objective for the users to achieve. The strategies and policies are needed to achieve the objective that the tactical plan to the implement this strategy. The first task in strategic planning is set the MIS objective and the result is expected. The consideration of this objective must deal with their fit the organization strategic plan, the type of the systems and the services to be offered, the role of the user in the system development and the technology to be used. Once the MIS objectives are set, the MIS policies are defined as a guideline to be used in carrying out the strategy. MIS policies in terms are translated into the long range, medium range, short range plan for the implementation. Next is the initial investigation. Initial investigation is taken for the software development. In the software development life cycle is the identification of the need. Why the software is need in the organizations? It is firstly identification of the need. Requirement is also this types of the initial investigation is taken in the software development life cycle. This is the user request to change and improve or enhance an existing system. Because there is likely to be a stream of such requests, standard procedure must be established to deal with them. Initial investigation is one way handling this. The objective is to determine whether the request is valid and feasible before the recommendation is reached to be nothing, improve or modify the existing system or build a new one. In the initial investigation is one way handling, the objective is request to the recommend is reaching to improve and modify the existing system and build a new one system. The user request identify and need for change and authorize the initial investigation. The user request is identified first and the need of the change and authorize the initial investigation. It may undergo the several modification before it become a written commitment. Once the request is approved, initiate the detailed user oriented specification of the system performance and analysis of the feasibility of the candidate system is taken in the initial investigations of the system. Initial investigation is taken for the system development, why the new system is necessary, where the problem is arises, where the upgradation of the system is necessary. These types of the initial investigation is taken for the system development life cycle. Next is information gathering. Information gathering about the information is gathered from the organizations, firm, information about the organization policies, goals, objective and structure, explain the kind of the environment that promote the introduction of the computer based system, because the here is manually is maintained data but it introduced the new computer based system. Company policies and guidelines that determine the conduct of the business, which types of the business is conduct, then which types of the system is necessary, which types of the computer based system is needs. Policies are translated into the rules and the procedure for the achieving goals. The organization policies also policies related information is collected. Statement of the goal describe the management commitment to objective and the directions of the system development. Objectives are the milestones of the accomplished towards the achieving the goals. Information from employee manuals. Information is gathering from the employee manuals. Orientation chart indicate management directions and orientation. Organization chart represent the achievement oriented structure. If gathering information about the firm and the analyst should watch of the correspondence between the organization claims to achieve and the actual operation. The informations gathered from the employee manuals, they know the employees information, orientation chart, profit and loss information. They collect the information about the firm and the organization. The developers and the analysts is know the organization policies, goals, objective and the structure. Then he decide how and which way develop the new computer based system. Information is also collect from the firstly information collect from the organization, then the information is collect from the user staff. Another kind of the information for the analysis is knowledge about the people who run the present system, their job functions and the information requirement. Actually the employees actually is working in the organization. They do the functions, they do the various types of the activities is doing in the organization. They know the where the problems is arises, which types of the computer based system is necessary for the run the organization. These types of the information is collect from the user staff, the relationships of the jobs to the existing system, interpersonal works that holds the user group together. Information is collect from the employees and the user staff. They actually focusing on the people's authority relationship, job status and functions and information requirement and interpersonal relationship. Information of this kind highlights the organization charts and establishes basis the determining the importance of the existing system for the organization, and in the existing system where the enhancements, where the modifications is necessary. These types of the information is collected from the user staffs of the organization. Then information is collected from the workflow focuses on the what happens to the data through various points of the system where this data is flow. Where the suppose the one organization is which types of the businesses perform in the IT related organizations or any business related, any production related organization, where is workflow, which types of the operation is performed. This can be show the data flow diagram or the system flow chart. These types of the data flow diagram represent the information generated at each processing point in the system, the direction it takes from the source to destination, where the workflow is gives the information about the which types of the work is happen in the organization from source to the destination. These types of the information is collected from the organization's workflow. Information available from such chart explain the procedure used for the performing task and the work schedule. Next is information is gathered from the two principal sources, personal and from the written document, from within the organizations and from the organizational environment. Primary external sources are from the vendors, company vendors, collected from the information from the company vendors, government documents, newspapers and the professional journal, from the organizations related articles and the information is available in the newspaper, in the professional journals. Next is the primary internal sources. This is the external sources are vendors, government documents, newspaper and the professional journal. The internal sources are financial reports of the organization, in the balance sheet and the financial status, which types of the profit and the loss is happened in the last 1 year or the last 2 years. The personal staffs, professional staffs, which types of the professional staffs is available and which types of they perform their jobs, system documentations or manuals, the user and the user staff reports and the transaction document. These types of the internal and the external sources are used for the information gathering. Next is information gathering tools. This means that the analyst must decide to the information gathering tools, how it must be used. Although there are various types of the information gathering tools is used, review of the literature, procedure and the form. First is used review of literature, procedure and forms. Therefore, the first step is a search of the literature through the professional reference and the procedure manual, textbooks, company studies, government publications, and the consult studies may prove the invaluable. The primary drawbacks of the search is time. Often is difficult to get a certain reports. Publication may be expensive and the information may be outdated due to the time of lag of the publication. Procedure manuals, forms are useful source for the analyst. They describes the format and the functions of the present system. Included the most manual are system requirement that help the determine how well forms the objective are met. Up to date manuals is used for the information gathering. These types of the information is collected from the review and the literature. Next is information is collected from the interviewing technique. The interview, it is a face-to-face interpersonal role situation in which person called the interviewer asks the person being interviewed question designed to gather information about the problem area, is ask the question to the company employee and the company staffs, ask the face-to-face questions, and they gather the information from the interview technique. The interview, it is the oldest and most often used device for the gathering the information in the system work. It has the qualities and the behavior on on-site observation. It can be used for the two main purposes: as an exploratory to identify the relationship or verify the information for the which information is provided by the organization. They use ask the question to the employee staff, organization staff, and he verify it. Which information is available in analysis. They check it to capture the information as it exists, which information is available in the organization. They capture it and they check it. System analysts collect information from the individual or group of the interview. They take the interview by individual one by one person, and they take the interview by the group of the employee and group of the organizations persons. The analyst can be formal, play the policies, maybe the formal and the informal, as the success of the interview depends on the skill of the analyst as the interviewer. The success of the interviews depends upon the analyst, which types of the question is asked to the organization's employee and the organization's person. Interviews considering a requirement. Interviewer must gain the respondent time and the attention, but cannot be a certain of the accuracy of the information gathered during the interview. Two types of the interview. First is the unstructured interview, and then the second is the structured interview. Unstructured interview, it is a relatively non-direct to information gathering technique. It allows respondent to answer the question freely in their own words. The responses are the spontaneous rather than the forced. They are the self-revealing and the personal rather than the forced. Then the structured interview. In the structure approach, the questions are presented with exactly the same wording and in the same order to all the subject. It has a standard questions which user need to respond in either closed to open format. In the structure format, and the questions are asked in the structure format, and the answer is given in the structure format. The structure interview and the questioning may differ in the amount of the structuring of the questions. Question may be either in the closed or in the open-ended. Next is the advantages of the interview. This method is frequently best source of the gathering quality of the information. It is useful for them who do not communicate effectively in writing or who may not have the time to complete the questionnaire. Information can easily be validated and the cross-check immediately. It can handle the complete subject. It is easy to discover key problems by seeking opinions. It is a flexibility make the interview its superior technique for exploring areas where not much is know about the ask and how the formulate question. It offers a better opportunity than the questionnaire to evaluate the validity of the information gathering. Many people enjoy interview regardless of the subject. It is an effective technique for collecting information about the complex subject or for probleming the sentiments for the underlying the expressed opinion. In the interview technique, face to face face to face interview is taken, face to face information is collecting from the organization employee. The interview technique is taken in unstructured way and the structured way. In the unstructured way, openly ask the question and answer is taken in openly. In the structured interview, the structured interview is taken in the structured format. Ask the specific question is asked and the specific answer is given by the organizations, employee and their persons. Thank you.